Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to have videos of the paid request this time for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Links are in the info box, either over there or over there. And one of two films Bronson wanted me to talk about was Bruce Almighty, the 2003 comedy starring Jim Carrey. And you also have Jennifer Aniston. You have Steve Koren, Morgan Freeman as God, and directed by Tom Shadyac. Now, Tom Shadyac, he directed, I believe, the first Ace Ventura movie and Liar Liar. Sadly, I think he got into some bike accidents that caused a lot of pain and suffering throughout the years, headaches. Barry went through a big ordeal with that and had to leave directing for a while. I think he only did like one more film, but after that he was kind of null and void, sadly. Which is too bad. I mean, it's understandable if he had to leave because of the predicaments of that accident. The way it was described seemed awful. But I think after this he did Evan Almighty, which was a big flop. They did Dragonfly, which I remember liking that one. That was a bit more of a supernatural drama with Kevin Costner. But this was a huge hit for Jim Carrey. And I just felt like comfort food for a lot of people, including me. Because Jim, has that, when he turns it on, he did have that great charm to make him a wonderful comedic actor. We saw that in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies recently, among other films. And the premise is he's a TV field reporter. He's going out with Jennifer Aniston. You get the idea that Aniston wants to get married, but Jim Carrey's character caring more about his career. And he pretty much keeps talking about how his life is terrible, which I'm thinking, so you're with Jennifer Aniston, you have this great place, you have a job that you're successful at, seemingly. A lot of people would love to have this terrible life you have. But anyway. He's mad that he's doing stories, these cute, fluffy, funny stories like The Biggest Cookie, because he wants the big, exclusive stories. He wants to be taken more seriously. He wants the big promotion, which Steve Koren gets, and he gets mad about that. He's tired of the traffic. He gets fired. He helps this homeless guy, but he gets beaten up for it. And he even's in his car after a fight with Jennifer Aniston, crashes his car, denounces God, gets this beeper number repeatedly, goes to where this place is at after calling, and finds Morgan Freeman there. He's the electrician, he's the janitor, and he is God. Spiffy, great white suit. I mean, you don't get someone to play God. Morgan Freeman's a great choice. He's got that stature, he's got that voice, wonderful fit. And it pretty much says, I'm going to give you my powers. You say you could do better, be my guest. So, of course, Bruce does all the selfish deeds he can. Then things go haywire. He learns a lesson. Movie's over. So on and so forth. So yeah, you can predict where it's going. So it is a predictable film. It's a film that I do like. I do enjoy. I don't think it's one of my favorite Jim Carrey films. I would put the two Ace Ventura films, Dumb and Dumber, The Truman Show, Liar Liar above it. Maybe in my top 10. It'd probably be in my top 10 Jim Carrey films. Well, let's see. Again, the two Ace Venturas, Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar, Truman Show, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I do like Cable Guy. Yeah, it'd be in my top 10, but probably a bit lower on the list. Jim Carrey still is having fun with the material. Like when he's getting mad at Let me have a little bit of light here. He's getting a little bit mad at Steve Carell. He's like, you like jazz? I could hold that note all day. That moment is funny. Some of the stuff they do with the effects when he first did his powers. Like Morgan Freeman has to prove to him, you have 7 fingers behind your back. Haha. Then he sees 7 fingers. Oh, what the hell? Oh, when Jim gets his powers, he has tomato soup, but he parts it like the Red Sea. He's like, I need a spoon. And a spoon comes out of his mouth. So there's some funny bits at the beginning there. He gets revenge on the thugs that beat him up. Probably the scene people remembers the most is with Steve Carell, because Steve Carell gets his position that he wants as correspondent, and he does this stuff where Steve Carell babbles, and that is an entertaining scene. Apparently, even Jim Carrey, who doesn't laugh a lot of his movies, he was apparently laughing uproariously because of that. And Steve Carell did a good job with that scene, which I'm guessing that's why, and also Steve Carell's rising popularity, they did Evan Almighty, but that was the wrong call because that was a big bomb. Jennifer Aniston I've always liked. I know some people don't like her, but I enjoyed her in Along Came Polly, some episodes I've seen of Friends. Never mind her as an actress. Even the Bounty Hunter with Gerard Butler, I had fun with. Silly, goofy, but I had fun with it. I thought she did a good job. She seemed capable of standing on her own 2 feet. Yet she didn't seem bitchy. She didn't seem whiny. You understood her frustrations with Jim Carrey's character. You understand her emotional turmoil, where she even prays, I wish I didn't love him so much. Did you see that Jim just, like a lot of these stories, cares about his work more than his family. Click with Adam Sandler, which I know a lot of people love, I'm not a fan of, because I thought that was a complete rip-off and copy of this movie. Well, how? How do you say that? They both have comedians, Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler, who meet an older established actor, Morgan Freeman and Christopher Walken, who both seem to have the powers of God, or godlike powers, that give their godlike powers, in this case, Jim Carrey can do all this, in Adam Sandler's case, the remote control to change the whole world and anything. They're 2 lead characters that care more about their job, more about their work, fixing their own problems. They have issues with their girlfriends, or wives, or their spouses. They care more about work than family. As the movie goes on, it becomes less comedic and more dramatic, where the laughs are smaller and the drama is trying to be bigger, where things are going turmoil, things are going up the creek for the character until they seemingly die, and then they go back and realize what truly matters. In this case, Jim Carrey gets hit by a vehicle, but then wakes up in the hospital after a talk with Morgan Freeman. Adam Sandler feels like he's having a heart attack, but wakes up, he's on the bed that he slept at near the beginning of the film, in the store. So that's what I mean, like, Click to me was like a copy of Bruce Almighty, but not nearly as endearing or funny. Here, I thought Jim seemed a bit funnier in the early stages. Did all the jokes work? No. I mean, the running gag of the dog trying to get it to pee in the toilet was funny. Maybe was humorous maybe the first time, but they did that bit 2 or 3 more times. They got a bit old afterward. Let's see, what was God, I'm trying to think of it. God, I forgot what the hell I was going to say. Oh, the the thuds when the monkey comes out of the guy's butt. I'm like, okay, it's kind of funny, weird. It's more weird than funny. I mean, I guess I could deal with that joke. It was kind of like, okay, but it wasn't like a favorite joke. It was like, it was like kind of funny to me. But I think what it is, like the second half of the film, always kind of goes a bit downhill for me. I always felt the first half was stronger. Just okay, Jim Carrey has the power of God, and he could do all sorts of things. There's a lot of comedy elements. The sky's the limit. But then it's okay. He makes a meteor fall. He finds Jimmy Hoffa's body, so it becomes Mr. Exclusive. He makes his woman horny, and they're going to have fun in the bed, horizontal style. He answers everybody's prayers, so because of that, too many people won the lottery, so only won 17 bucks, so there's a riot that starts. It felt like it lost a lot of the laughs, quotient, comedy potential in the second half. I just the second half is really trying to get into the serious matter of Jim not treating Jennifer Aniston right. She sees Jim kiss another girl, and he tries to explain. You can't really blame Jennifer Aniston for being mad about all this, because Jim's not getting it. But we'll say, once I kind of get a handle, okay, it's trying to be a bit more dramatic in the second half. I would say I liked the third act a bit more than Click, for example. Because Click is like very, very, very over dramatic and heart attack, and then he wakes up and blah blah. Here I thought they went that line a bit better and not too overzealous, not too over dramatic, and I thought Jim Carrey had some good moments of being a serious actor. Before that, where it kind of lets the movie breathe, where, and I don't mind the song they use, Vertical Horizon. You're a god, and I just thought I'd let you know. And he's just helping people. And okay, they're easing this in till he's learning his lesson. He helps this guy with his car. He helps Steve Carell. He accepts doing this job, doing these silly stories. And then, we see that he's trying to change, not just to win the girl back, but just a sincere matter in his soul that he just wants to be a better person. He wants to help someone. Not just for a goal, but just because it's the right thing. And then when he sees the turmoil Aniston's going through and he gets hit by the vehicle, I do think this moment really works. Where Morgan Freeman's like, well, give me a real prayer. He does, mentions her name, and Freeman goes, you want her back? And he goes, no. You see this weird look on Morgan Freeman's face, and Jim goes, I just want her to be happy. I want someone to see her like you see her. I thought it was a very it walks the line of sappiness, but I thought Jim pulled it off very, very well. The music, Jim's performance, it felt sincere, it felt emotional, but wasn't too it wasn't superficial, wasn't too what's the word I'm looking for? Too sappy, too manipulative. It worked well, and it showed that this character did change, and he did learn, and he did grow. So then when the final blip happens, it feels like it's at least a little bit more earned. And I guess at the end of the day, I thought the film was kind of a cute fluff piece of a movie. I do think there's a lot more that could have been entailed with Jim Carrey having the power of God. I feel like there's a lot of other aspects that you could have really dealt with. That there's a lot of. It felt like there's a lot of comedy left on the table, up being a godlike figure, with Jim Carrey's manic personality, expressive face and behavior. You got a little bit of that, like he mentions Clint Eastwood and he starts doing his Clint Eastwood impressions. Like that was pretty funny. So again, while the second half it got a bit, it was trying to be a bit too dramatic, which I get why, so it's not an entirely bad thing, but again, it just wasn't consistently funny throughout. But overall, I still thought it was a good time. Watch it again. Morgan Freeman was perfect for God. Jim Carrey to show a bit of drama, but also a bit of the emotions. Granted, I thought that was done better in films like The Truman Show, but it's still a good effort here. And still had fun watching it again. It was still a fun film. Still an entertaining flick. For what it needed to be. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.